Hey everybody, Vaughn here with the Vonster vlog with day 4 of a year of yoga. So we are doing 4 poses today, and we're going to be starting off with the newest pose because we're building each day on the day before it. So we will be doing tree pose, so which is why I've kind of got the camera set up at like a weird angle right now because I'm still figuring all this out. We're going to start with tree pose, and then we're going to be moving into cat cow, downward facing dog, and then cobbler's pose. So I like to start off of my mat when I'm doing tree pose because my mat's quite squishy, and that actually makes it a little difficult for me to balance. So I'm trying to find a spot where my feet are in frame. And I guess thinking about it, it would have made more sense for me to start with mountain pose because you kind of start in mountain pose before coming into tree. But we're going to kind of breeze through it and just wing this crap because yoga, yay. I'm grounding through the 4 corners of my feet. So like both sides of my heels, forward and backward, and the balls of my feet as well as on the outer edges of my feet. So you really want to feel like rooted and like you're pressing down through your feet, almost like you're pushing the ground away from you. But then simultaneously, once you have that feeling, grow up and out of your body as well. So it's almost as though you're being pulled from your feet and from your hands and the top of your head. I have my core engaged and my pelvis tucked a little. I mean, I'm not like hunkered down, but I'm definitely engaged. I'm not just standing all floppy. I'm engaged and balanced. And starting from this point, we're going to lean over. I'm going to start on the right side just because that feels cool today, but you do you. And I'm going to focus on sending all of my roots down through my right leg. And then I'm coming up, bringing my knee, I'm rotating outward. And we can actually just start here with kind of our heel up against our ankle and just balancing on our toe, if that's a good place for you. You can also hold on to like a wall or the back of a chair or something to help you balance. Or you can come and bring your foot onto your calf. And this is where I like to be because our foot fits so comfortably there on the inner curve of our knee, but that can put a lot of stress on your standing knee. So it's good to avoid doing that. And I can't quite yet get my foot up to my inner thigh, so I'm working on it. Woo, I actually got a little bit of a cramp there on my outer leg because as we do this, we're opening through. It's like if our back were pressed against a wall, we want to bring our knee to that wall that's behind us. So we're really opening through all of that while still grounding. And you can bring your hands above your head. You can have them at your heart, or you can have them down by your side, just whichever you prefer. Woo. And I'm still quite new to the most recent path of my yoga journey. And I am not as conditioned as I would like to be. So my feet, all those little muscles holding everything together, all those little bits and pieces holding all the bits and pieces in place, start to cramp up. And like, I am not as strong as I would like to be. But instead of being, boo and hiss about that, just be where you are, be where I am, and let it be what it is. And every day will get a little bit stronger. But there's no sense in beating myself up about not being where I wanted to be or not being where I was even. Just be wherever it is that you are. And that's okay, because you're here, and that's amazing. So we're going to bring our foot up. We're doing the same thing on the other side, making sure we're nice and open. Getting a cramp on this side too. I think from yesterday doing our cobbler pose, like how we did, it's that same muscle that kind of brings your thighs to the ground in cobbler pose. There we are. And you can go through and repeat this as often as you like. You can bring yourself into this position at any point throughout the day, just to practice and build balance. Taking just a couple of breaths, just being in that spot. Now I'm going to go back to I'm taking 3 nice, deep but peaceful breaths. Whoop, and there we go. It's okay to lose your balance. That is all right. So now we are going to come into cat-cow. Making sure I'm in frame still. I hope y'all can hear me from all the way over there. But we are going to come down now into just sitting on our knees or however you're comfortable. I'm so full of gratitude today, you guys. At the time of recording, we have a live stream today, and I cannot wait. I'm so excited. So, enjoying some yoga before then. So we're gonna come down into our cat-cow, and I do have links to this yoga mat, which is my most favorite yoga mat that I've ever used. This is my 4th day of saying that in a row, but I really mean it. Oh, and what's more is I have had this yoga mat for over a year. While I haven't been using it every day this past year, I will be in the coming year, and I'm going to let you guys know how it ages for me. Holds up through all sorts of use and abuse. So I'm just kind of rocking, letting my back wake up, bringing my knees below my hips, and my hands are under my shoulders, but not directly under. They're just a little forward. That way I can build up my wrist mobility instead of just throwing myself directly into a 90-degree bend at my wrist. So on an inhale, we're going to exhale into cat. And take a few breaths here, just kind of experimenting with movement through. And then I'm going to exhale. Inhale and exhale, sorry. I'm gonna breathe, darn it. Exhaling or whatever, come into cow pose. Just lifting my head up, radiating through my heart, bringing my tailbone up into the sky. Getting a nice stretch across my abs, a nice contraction down my back. Inhaling and exhaling through. And you can move with every single breath. You can take deep breaths in between. Find what brings you joy, what makes you feel all nice and juicy. And if you feel like this pose is maybe a little too easy for you, focus on balancing through your hands, your feet, your knees. Focus on radiating through your heart, keeping your shoulders pulled away from your ears. You don't want to be hunching through your neck, but growing down into the ground, growing out through the top of your head. And connecting always with your breath. So now from here, we can turn our toes in under and press up into downward facing dog. You can wiggle it out, stretch it out, start walk the dog. Again, not crunching up your shoulders around your ears, letting your head and neck relax. And you can always come back down into cat-cow and give your wrists a little bit of a break if you need it. That is a lot of being, if you're not used to it, being on your wrists. So we can do some nice little figure eights with our hands. In one direction and then in the other. There we go. Now let's go back down into downward facing dog again. You can kind of shift your weight from one side to the other. Bend one knee, then straighten it and bend the other knee. Or you can find stillness. And we're going to come back down onto our hands and knees. Then I'm coming towards the top of my mat and just rolling back into cobbler's pose. So I'm just going to kind of get everything situated so that this is nice and comfortable. We can get some nice neck rolls going on too. It may not seem like a lot to some of y'all, but doing that cat-cow and then downward facing dog actually has me out of breath. So that's a pretty challenging posture for me. So take a moment here if you need it and catch your breath. Just come back to still waters, a nice equilibrium. And move into the next asana as you're ready. So we have our feet together here. And we can actually hold on to our knees and do a little bit of cat-cow in this seated posture. And then we can hold on to our feet and open our feet almost like a book. Wiggling our toes and bringing awareness into them. Sometimes I find myself, I've spent so long in my own body that I take a lot of things for granted. And something as simple but as joyful as wiggling my toes, I just don't pay much attention or don't do it nearly enough. And you can really, once your feet start losing flexibility, which mine have because I don't pay attention to them the way that I wish I would, it can really it's caused me a lot of pain. I've got plantar fasciitis, not just in the bottom of my feet, but in the tops of my feet as well. And I feel like spending more time barefoot, working with balancing postures, and just focusing on like kind of squeezing and then squeezing and spreading my toes has really helped me with that. And I look forward to seeing what doing it consistently, because I think that's the most important part of anything. I'm looking forward to see what consistency is going to do for me and in my foot pain journey. Because man, if your feet hurt, it takes the fire out of just about anything else that you're wanting to do. At least for me. So from here, I'm going to lean forward. I've made as much space as I feel is necessary for my stomach to be able to comfortably come forward. Doing a little bit of wiggling side to side because I like to wring out my sponge. Big inhale and exhaling, coming forward. Now I'm not hunching my spine. I'm keeping my spine straight and folding at my hips. And that way I feel it through my hips, through my thighs, through my lower back. Inhale and exhale. You can, if you want, even extend your arms. This helps me to keep radiating forward and up, even though I'm trying to lean deeper into the stretch. And as we inhale, we can come out of the stretch, focusing on our nice form or straight spine, our relaxed legs, like we're not bunching our legs up towards us. We're kind of bringing them with that same muscle we were using in tree pose. We're bringing our thighs to the ground. It's a hell of an inhale. Okay, and on an exhale, keeping that good form. We're deepening into the stretch, breathing all the way through it. And I like that cycle, that pulsing, coming in and out of the motion. All right, y'all, that is our yoga practice for today. You can do more if you like. You can repeat it if that's what you feel inspired to do, but I'm gonna call it here because I gotta go hang out with y'all in a live stream over on our main channel. So I will see you guys in tomorrow's yoga video, and until then, keep on keeping on. Mwah! Bye, guys.